family. We are back here with another great edition of Bison Breakdown. West Hall, Coach London and Tiffany Hoyd. Yes, another opportunity to get a big win for the Bison football team. Of course, last week started off the season against Ohio, came up just a little short, but that's okay because it's week one. But we first want to recap and kind of get some of the highlights and some things that you noticed on the field last week. So what did you see, Coach?
Definitely. Ohio was an FBS team, the MAC champions, back-to-back bowl games. They're a very good football team. They're picked to win their conference again. So I was very pleased about the way we played. We're driving in the final moments of the game down around the 20-yard line, a chance to score and go ahead and win the game. We threw an interception, unfortunately, and they end up running the clock out. But I was so proud of the way we played, the adversity that happened and how we responded to it, the big plays that we made, had 600-plus total yards offense versus their 400. A lot of positive things. We did give the ball away 4 times, and that hurts. You can't give the ball away and expect to win a game. But as far as the effort, as far as competing, as far as playing toe-to-toe with a team that's been recognized as the best in their conference, I'm very excited about that. But we got work to do, and we go back up to Ohio again and play another Ohio team. But this first week, a lot of players played, 14 freshmen played. And, so the future is bright for us, but now we want to put some things together to give us a chance to win games.
You talk about that bright future in that first week. You have still that running back by committee that we were talking about last week. One of the guys that you and I were talking about prior to the filming of this is Josiah Crute, a freshman running back who I had the honor of watching come out of Friendship here in D.C. What can you speak to about the contributions of some of those young players in their first college football experience?
Well, what you saw the opening day jitters, the venue is bigger and, the wide-eyed. But at the same time, once they start playing, then they settled into the fact that your skill set is as good as anybody. And so Khalid Dorsey, Iggy Reynoso, Crute, the backs that we have, the young backs that we have, they played. And they did a good job. Now we got to find ways to utilize their skill set and help us not only on offense but also in some special teams components as well. So very proud of them, and a lot of them was their first time flying, so a lot of things we got out of the way, first, and we're excited about playing our second game.
Well, now your second game back to the great state of Ohio against Kent State. Now you're going up against a coach who, this is your second year in our program here at Howard. So now Coach Sean Lewis, it's his first year coaching in that program. Have you had enough time to kind of assess the direction that they want to drive their program?
You see, their team, it's a new philosophy, obviously with a completely different staff and their approach to the games. They're a spread offense. They have a transfer quarterback, Barrett from Auburn, that played last week against their loss against Illinois. He's very dynamic. He can throw. He can run. He has a skill set of receivers and running backs he gets the ball to. Defensively, they're a 3-4 defense, and they do a lot of blitzing and a lot of coverages that try to confuse the quarterback. So the first game, you kind of see a little bit of an identity. And as you go through the season, you start to see an identity of a team and what they want to be. The game planning and we know the personnel that they have, but now the week we spent is getting ready for what we think we'll see based on what we do. So that's part of the strategy, putting the game plan together. But a new coach, new staff. It's their first home game. They were on the road against Illinois, and again, we're road warriors. We know how to travel, and we're going to travel to Ohio again.
Let's do it. So then I have to wonder, you say they run a 3-4 defense, obviously 4 linebackers back there. Now, obviously, in week 1, Kalen Newton comes out, has another record day, of course, 2 interceptions that we always want to take off the books. We wish you could take those back. However, still a record day for him. So what have you seen that he can progress from week 1 to week 2, considering that's the defense that he's going to be facing?
Yeah, with him, sometimes he tries to make too much happen, and just it's okay sometimes if it's second down to throw the ball away, and you live to see another down, instead of trying to scramble to get rid of the ball. And what happens if you're not careful with it, it ends up being tipped or intercepted. So that part of I believe that he's learned that part of it, and just know that it's about, particularly in your red zone, we got to make sure we make good decisions down there. So I expect him to be better, and he will be as the team. I expect us to create turnovers as we need to and not give the ball up. And those are the two probably the most significant issues that we had for this game. When you outgain a team and you beat them in a lot of categories, you can't have turnovers, particularly down in the red zone, that cause you issues. But I think we've learned a lesson, and again, we're ready to play the next game.
All right. So, Tiff, got any questions you want to ask Coach Ruger?
I do, Coach. You just spoke to turnovers, and we had 2 fumbles all of last year. We were leading the FCS in loss of fumbles. We did not have any, but we came into this game and we had 4. What are you guys doing to change that and get back to how you were last year with those turnovers?
Yeah, well, you continue to drill it. You continue to drill it ad nauseum. And the aspects that causing turnovers defensively is what we want to do, but giving the ball away, is something that can't happen. And it's technical, it's mindset, all those things. So we've drilled down on that in this week's practice and understand the value of having a ball. You get between 11 to 13, 14 possessions a game. And if you give the ball up 4 times, and that lessens your opportunities to score points. So we realize how important that is, and we continue to work on that.
All right, and Coach, you had 4 drop picks. So, and you have Barrett, who threw for 2 interceptions last week. I think that could be the turning point in this game. What are you guys doing as far as drills and the importance of those DBs in this coming week against Kent?
Yeah, no doubt. As we talked about the importance of interceptions or us causing fumbles, 4th down stops, those type of things are critical. And catching the ball, that's it. Catching the ball. Maybe that's why they're DBs. I don't know, but so we'll work on that again, and we do it. We'll continue to keep emphasizing it, and to just know that when you're that close against a really good football team, that those things about giving it up or getting the ball is critical. And our guys want to win. The attitude is great. We came out relatively injury-free. A lot of times you worry about playing a team like an FBS team, getting physically injured and losing guys, but everybody that's dressed up will be back for us again. So it's an all-in approach again for this week.
So, Coach, I want to know about the importance of scheduling teams like Ohio and Kent State at the beginning of the season. How important is that to have those games on the schedule before you get into conference play?
Well, there's twofold. I mean, obviously, in FCS world, you play games that guaranteed games that allow you, some financial stability in terms of contractually and being able to support the athletic program and, in football. So you do those things, you also have a chance to kind of evaluate and assess where you are as a team. And this first game, we were able to look and say, you know what, we're just as strong as they were, even though they were 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". And, that we're not far from being a really, really good team by eliminating, a lot of some of those issues of turnovers and decisions. So 3rd down, we were better than them in a lot of situations. But on the scoreboards, when it counts is where it counts, and we got to do a better job of making sure we control those things that can help us win.
Yeah. Want to follow up with this last one?
Well, this last question, I know we talked a lot about Kalen and the wide receivers and then even the defense and the DBs play in this last game against Ohio, but what we haven't really seen a lot of press on is the strength of our offensive line and the growth from we would have like a penalty every down. We would have a penalty almost on that offensive line, and we've had a lot of growth in that veteran center and James Holman. I almost said Big Baby, but James Holman.
Big Baby, shout out.
Calling a guy at 350 pounds Big Baby.
Right.
There's only one player, and that's James Holman on the offensive line that played a lot last year. So basically, the guys that are playing on the line, Tyler Shadrack, although he's a senior, is now a starter and a mainstay. And then we have Brandon Johnson, who's a sophomore. Tony Young, who's a starting right tackle. Freshman. Philip Fleming. So they did do a really good job of providing Kalen an opportunity to throw the ball down the field. Of also opening up some running room and spaces for our running backs, to affect, the vertical spacing. So it's been a strong suit. It's only game 1. A lot of games to play here, but when you look at and you think about where we were and losing a bunch of offensive linemen, and there where we are and playing younger linemen, sometimes it doesn't equate to that. But James was a co-offensive lineman of the week for me at conference. That's a confidence booster for him. He's a leader on our team, and so I've stopped calling him Big Baby, and now I call him James.
He's moved up in the ranks. Right. So now we want to move on because there's a particular program that I think I really want to make sure people are aware of that's concerning everyone learning and experience the game of football, and I will let you tell it yourself, Coach, because Honest to gosh, I know it's your pet. So here you go.
You know, I've always we talked about trying to get people involved with the program, and what's not paid attention a lot is bringing football to a level that the women out there can feel and enjoy and participate in. So we're going to have a football clinic on the 13th of September, Thursday, about 6:45. Registration at Cook Hall. And have, you know, young ladies come in, women come in and talk about and show them some of the rules and regulations, show them some of the techniques that we teach our players, but also to go out on the playing field and teach those techniques. You know, what does it mean when a referee does this or does this? You know, answer those questions. You know, have drills that we teach our players and show them, you know, the importance of diet and exercise and cardiovascular health. All those things like that. So we call it a women's clinic, and we're going to do that on the 25th, and on the 13th, and hopefully have fun. You know, we're playing music and just trying to create an atmosphere where it's fun. You know, so I don't know how many times, you know, that I hear that, you know, young women or ladies are at games and something happens and they ask their male counterpart what that was, and he answers them like they should know.
Right.
You know, and I know a lot of women out there know the game of football, but this is geared towards answering every question, any question. There's no question that's a silly question. It's a question that we're going to answer and give them information about. So hopefully faculty members, teachers, people in the community, the ladies here on campus here, you know, it's on the 13th, the Thursday before our first home game against Savannah State. Hopefully we'll have a lot of people that will come out and be around our football program and learn about the game.
Catch your Howard University Bison football team this Saturday at 3:30 p.m. as they take on Kent State Golden Flashes on Howard University student station WHBC 96.3 HD3 and HBCU on Sirius XM channel 142.